Hello my beauty buddies. Yesterday my Lucky Bag XL for 2018 came in and I had $514 worth of products. It was amazing. Let me show this to you really quick, and then if you want to see how I got this look, I did a tutorial. In case you're not familiar with Lucky Bags, every year on December 26th in the morning, Beautylish has a time where you can sign up and pay for them. There are two sizes, XL, which is what I received, and then there's also a regular size. Regular size is $75 and you are guaranteed to have $150 of product. The XL, you pay $150 and you are guaranteed to have at least $350 of products. I had 514, so I kind of got an extra lucky one. It really varies. You should go and look on, Instagram and YouTube and see what people got, because it's really fun to see the different combinations of what the different bags were. I think either way you win. The Beautylish carries some great lines, and this is my third year of getting the Lucky Bags, but the first time I got an XL, that kind of came out last year. To qualify for an XL bag, you do have to have spent $1,000 at Beautylish over that last calendar year. So in 2017 I did. And it was pretty easy to do. I just shifted some stuff I used to buy other places and bought it from Beautylish. So totally worth it. What I received was a little Bioderma Sensibio micellar water, which had a $6.90 value. I also got the Kevyn Aucoin Neo Bronzer in Capri, a Wayne Goss 16 brush. I also got a By Terry Velvet Rouge lipstick, and this is number 1. I was super over the top excited, because I always wanted one of these, to get this By Terry Sun Designer palette. This one is number 4 in Savannah Love. I received this Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize cream eyeshadow, and this is in Marie Antoinette. I got this Hylamide primer, and it is the HA Blur Hyaluronic based prismatic blurring surface primer, and the Mac Daddy, the Natasha Denona 28 pan palette, and this is in the blue violet. If you've been enjoying my content, don't forget to subscribe. Now let's get into how I did this look. All right, I'm going to start out by putting on my little Derma E headband. If you are looking for natural products that are reasonably priced, I would highly recommend them. They're at Whole Foods and you can find them online, and fabulous products, very reasonably priced. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the Hylamide HA Blur. This is a hyaluronic acid based prismatic blurring surface finisher. It looks like this, kind of a thick cream. I'll go ahead and I'll put that on. All I have on so far is some moisturizer. Now I'm going to really quickly use this Lancome Tint Idol Ultra Wear Camouflage. This is in the peach color, yeah, it's just called Peach. And I'm going to just take the tiniest dot of this. This is going to be enough for under both of my eyes to help go and, so I'm just using this much, you can even see that, and that is enough to help with the bit of blue discoloration under my eyes. As you can see, it goes on really peach. I usually just use my fingers to kind of get it in the areas that I want it. Sometimes I'll take the tiniest bit and hit this little spot I have here. This is why you want to wear sunscreen all the time when you're in your car. I'm really good about it, but I still got that. Sometimes I like to take one of these little paddle brushes and just kind of gently go over what I've done with my fingers, blend it even better. All right, now I'm going to take my beauty blender, and I was trying to kind of stick with the theme of what I had in the Lucky Bag as much as I could, so I'm going to use my By Terry foundation. I got this, I think it was from Camera Ready Cosmetics. It was like half off after Christmas, I think it was. Yeah, they had like a great little sale. I found that this foundation wears pretty well, but it does break down on my chin throughout the day. I changed my shirt because I was really afraid I was going to get eyeshadows and things on here, so I went to a darker shirt. And for the concealer, I'm using the By Terry Terribly Denseless Concealer. So we'll go ahead and try this, and this one is in Natural Beige number 3. So I'll just go put a little bit of this on here, a little extra here. I think I'm okay everywhere else. My little spots covered. And then I'll go ahead and I'm going to use my little Moda brush again here. I have the Artiste brushes and the Moda paddle brushes, and I like them both a lot. This one especially I like for going under the eyes. Now this is kind of small for that, so then I'm going to pop over to this Artiste one that I've got. Not sure if you can hear that, but my dog is barking. I'm going to set everything with my Laura Mercier loose setting powder. And I'm just going to use this Wayne Goss brush, just kind of buff it in. If you see a little black mark on any of my white brushes, it's because my brush that I use for tight liner sometimes touches those, even though I rinse it off every time. So what are you going to do? Next, I'm going to use my Senna Anti-Aging Mineral Highlighting HD Eye Lift. This is in number 1. I like to use this under my eyes. My favorite brush for this is the Wayne Goss Airbrush brush. And I just put a little tiny bit here. It just helps kind of brighten that. You just have to use a light hand. Now, sticking with the brands that we're using here as much as possible, I've got my Natasha Denona Sculpting and Highlight set. I'm just going to use the powders. I'm just more of a powder contour person than I am cream. I have the Smashbox sticks. I like those a lot, but I just find it easier to use the powders. Although sometimes if I want a lot of lasting power, I will use the cream and then put the powder on top. So I'm just trying to make my forehead look a little bit smaller, because I do have a lot of forehead. Not everybody has to do this, but look at this, you guys. I have like 4 fingers worth of forehead. So, all right. And then my little trick to try to make my little chin look a little bit smaller. So just very subtle with the contour. Now what I've been dying to use, the By Terry palette here. So I know you can mix all of these together and kind of use this all as a bronzer. You use all this as a brusher or use them individually. So I think right now I'm just going to see what it looks like to use a little bit of the blush here, kind of the pink colored one. I'm going to just try to pick some up on my brush. And looks like a lot got on there, so that's what that looks like. Oh, so lots of good pigment there. Wow, I think with this you have to be careful not to get too much. What a beautiful color. Yeah, I think I need to be careful with that. Interesting. I'm seeing some glitter here in my mirror. So I must have hit some of the gold. I must have hit some of the gold because I did not put any highlight on there yet. Okay, now I'm going to try to take a even smaller brush. I'm going to take this little skinny guy, try to get into the light pink. Add that on top a little. So there we go. Yeah, wow, this stuff is pigmented. Gotta be very careful not to get too much so you don't get clown face. One little trick though, if I get too much going, I always have my Too Faced Cocoa Powder Foundation, and I feel like I've got a little too much blush going. I'll just take a brush and I will pop into this, just a couple little taps, and it can usually bring things down quite nicely. Just tone it down, blend it in a little bit better. But why not? I'm going out to dinner with my husband tonight. I can have a little bit of extra going on. Now when I'm using bronzer, I like to use kind of more of a fluffy brush. The round fluffy ones are like this one by Stila a lot. I have another one I like a lot by Makeup Forever. So I just will I'm going to just kind of moosh these all together and see what I get. And just try to warm up a little bit because it's my wintry foundation. And I'll just kind of bring this down my neck a bit too. And so far, I think this looks really nice. I was wearing sunglasses earlier and I've got little dents on my nose. I think I'm going to skip contouring my nose today. Now I could highlight with this goldish color here, but it's pretty dark for me to be a highlight. I just don't think that'd be great. This one here too, this would probably work. It's got kind of a peachy look to it, but I do want to try to use everything that I got. So I'm going to go into my Kevyn Aucoin palette here and use the highlight that came with it here. I have the coral version of this already, so I know I'll get a good effect, so I can see that. And then if you just go lightly with this, you know, you can get a lot less highlight. And this is really pretty all swirled together too. I haven't tried it with this color scheme, but with the coral one it sure is. So I'm assuming it will be for this too. Now let's work on the eyes. I'm going to start with the Too Faced glitter primer because from what I understand, if I do remember correctly, from what Stephanie Nicole said when she was doing a review on these, like, I don't know, it was like at least a year or so ago, she said, I think that these can cause quite a bit of fallout if you don't use a glittery type of a primer. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this and see how it goes. I mean, I'm just going out to dinner. I'm not needing this to stick for hours, but might as well not have stuff all over my face later on today. Since I'm wearing this color, I think I'm going to go for the blue side of the house. Plus, this just reminds me so much of the Natasha Lila palette I already have. So looking at this, I'm not seeing a great transition color for me to use. So I'm going to have to dig into my Viseart palette. So I need to go grab that. Be right back. These Viseart palettes last forever. I've had mine for, gosh, probably almost 2 years. And I use it all the time. Absolutely love them. I remember when I first got it, I was like, wow, no other matte has ever performed like this before. And I thought, wow, I just must be having, you know, good eyeshadow day. And it turned out they're just all so good. If you want a good review on those, Stephanie Nicole has one where she goes through them all. She's really great. You should definitely go to her channel if you don't already follow her. She's really, really nice in person too, you guys. I got to spend a good part of a day with her and Jen from Jen Loves Reviews. My buddy Jen, of course, always go follow her too if you don't already. And just have the best time. Okay, so now I feel like I'm ready to put the color onto my eyes. I think I'm going to try to do something a little bit fun. I'm going to go in with maybe this color here to start with. I'm just going to kind of lay that down a little bit. This is my first time using this. Now I'm going to use this beautiful color here. It's called Petroleum Blue. Oh my goodness, look at that. Wow, that is gorgeous. Now with Wayne Goss 16, this is my old one. Here's my new one. I'm going to go in with Steel Blue, which is this color here. And the other color that I started with, that one was Powder Blue. I'm going to add a dab of this Deep Pacific. It's funny how things can look kind of crazy until you get to the end. So don't worry, this will all get pulled together. Now I'm going to take this big fat Esom brush that I have. I love this. I have two of them actually. I got them, they came with Viseart sets. Like they have a thing a couple times a year, at least once a year, where, actually I think it's twice. They did it at Christmas and then some other time, where if you buy a couple Viseart palettes, they throw in a couple Esom brushes, and I've really loved all the Esom brushes that I've used. They've been fabulous. And this one, I'm so glad I ended up with two of them, because I use one for when I do like a nose contour, and I use the other, wow, you know what? I should have used my regular primer on the top of my eye. I don't like how the glitter glue is making this blend up here, but I'll get it to work. But anyway, so back to that. I really like these Esom brushes. Fabulous. Okay, so that looks pretty good so far. Now I'm going to take this Charlotte Tilbury cream shadow in Marie Antoinette. This is Eyes to Mesmerize. I'm going to take a small brush. I think I'll try this one. I'm just going to take a little dab of this, and I'm going to go ahead and go in my inner corner. Look in this mirror. The other mirror is too far away. I don't use cream shadows a lot. Sometimes I lay them down like as a base before I put something else on. Ooh, this is pretty. I like the way it's blending into the blue. I feel kind of oceany. Now I'm going to go in and use the glaze right here from Natasha Denona. I'm just going to put a little dot of that in the middle. Oh my God, you guys, look at that. That's with a brush, not my finger. Holy cow. So now I've got the gold going into the silver, into the blue. Oh, I like the way it looks. I'll go ahead and clean up under my brow area. I'm just going to use a little bit of this matte color from the Viseart palette. And I'm just going to kind of take a little bit and use it as a brow bone highlight here. I'm kind of mixing these two. Now I'm going to go ahead and tightline it with my Laura Mercier tight liner in Ebony. I love this stuff. I'm just using this Lil Wayne Goss brush. e.l.f. has a brush very similar to this. Laura Mercier has a flat topped one also. I just dip it in some water and then I make a little bit of a paste here. This is a brand new one that I just bought at the Sephora sale. I needed to bust this out. My other one's almost out. And then I just push up into my lash line. And it makes such a difference, and I find it just easier to use than any sort of pencil or anything else. What a difference, right? Now again, I'm pushing up into the lashes. I'm not really trying to get my waterline. I mean, you kind of do, but the point is really just to have something to act as an anchor for the mascara. Next, I'm going to use this ColourPop gel liner. This one is called Get Paid, and it's a really beautiful bronze color. I'll show you my hand. Go. And I just really like it. I don't look great with a lot of eyeliner under my eye. So I'm going to put this first. And then I'm going to probably use a little bit of the blue color from the Natasha Denona palette. But just on the outer edge where my eyes look really small. And take this little tiny brush here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and go in with this guy. Just use a little tiny bit. And I'm using bright colors, but it doesn't mean I have to look crazy. And at my age, at 50, I don't always want to look like a total cake face on. But it's so much fun to play with the colors. And I'm going to go with this lighter blue just a little bit. I'm going to end up putting on lashes probably, so I'm not going to curl my eyelashes right now. I'm just going to go ahead and put a bit of this Lancome primer on because it's fabulous. It makes your eyelashes much thicker and it's also conditioning for them. The key is though, you have to put your mascara on, before it dries, or I find you don't get as good of an effect. So while it's still, you know, just been put on, I add mascara. And this is the Monsieur Big by Lancome. I'm a huge fan of this mascara. It has replaced the Better Than Sex mascara for me, which was my holy grail until it came out. Maybe I'm not going to need lashes. Let's see. Not bad. I do use Latisse on my eyelashes probably about 4 or 5 nights a week. Used for about 2 months straight when you get started. I'm probably going to put out a video on that soon, actually. I mean, I know it's been around forever, but just so people know about it. There's so many lash products out. But it's prescription. And I just feel like my lashes look really, really good since I've been using it. And I wear false lashes a lot. And, you know, I'm always ripping out my eyelashes. And honestly, I think this is the best mascara combination you can get. I just love this. So we'll do the other eye. Can't believe it is already mid-January. Both my kids are back in college. Work's going to be rather busy. Well, it's always kind of busy. But I think everyone's back from vacation and it's going to hit harder than it has. It's funny, I feel like my right eye has better eyelashes than my left eye. Also, one tip with Latisse, if you're using it, or really any growth product for your lashes, when I'm done, I mean, check with whatever the directions say, but I rub it into my eyebrows. I'm pretty happy with how my lashes actually look right now. Maybe I'll just put smaller lashes on the outer edge just to get that va-va-voom look at the end. I'm going to use my Anastasia Brow Wiz. It looks very ghetto right now. I always end up breaking these little pieces off. Even if they're just sitting at my vanity, somehow they break off. So I'm going to kind of just outline where I want my brow to go. Because I don't have much, especially not at this end. I'll do this side. The other thing I've been loving is Give Me Brow by Benefit, and apparently this was taken off the shelves because people were getting eye irritation, but they were putting it in their eyes. I don't know what they were doing that it would get into their eyes, because I feel like this is pretty far from your eyes. I'm not quite sure how that was happening, but I hope they come back. Maybe they are, I should look, because when this runs out I'll be very sad, because I really like this. I feel like having, you know, lighter brows and lashes, when I do my brows, it's really hard to get that fine line between having the brows looking good and looking overdrawn. And I feel like this just makes them look natural, but really fills in well. So I really have been loving this stuff. And I'm going to just probably go back, let this dry for a second, and touch up the tail here of my brows. I'm adding to the top, not underneath, because I want to keep as much of my eyelid real estate as possible, right? So I think that that looks natural, but filled in. Other side. I really like this small brush a lot. I find it makes it far easier to apply the product than the big brush products. I mean, there are other tinted brow gels that I really like the Senna, but man, I just love this little brush. It's fabulous. Before I do the lashes, I'm going to do my lips real quick. I'm just using this little clear Urban Decay lip liner, and it's just clear, but I'm starting to get fine lines on my lips. It's an aging thing, you know. I just want to make sure that the lip product doesn't run. So I'm just going to make a little barrier with this. Love this stuff. And now to try the By Terry Velvet Lip. It has one of those hourglass shaped doe foot applicators. It's very subtle. Smells nice. A very light fragrance. I'm just feeling this is really plain with the look I've got going right now. So this is the color. I don't know, I don't feel like it's doing a ton for me. It's a little too light, but you know what, wait, I think I have an Ofra, what is this one, in Laguna Beach. I'm just gonna mix a little in. I do stuff like this all the time, so hopefully it works. Let's add a little bit more. Pinky color. Still didn't do a lot, huh? There we go. A little bit more color. I'm gonna try some new lashes I've never tried before. These are by Vintage Cosmetics. I just thought it'd be kind of fun to try. They're just kind of little outer edge ones. They should be pretty easy to put on, hopefully. I found the smaller the lashes and the thinner the band, the easier they usually are to put on. Although I have to say the Pure Cosmetics, P-U-R, those are really easy to put on. Two key tools that I use for putting on lashes are a tweezer and then these. These are by Japanesque. I got these when I was at an editorial makeup class that Muse Beauty put on in San Francisco. And I love these because you can kind of not only, you know, bring them to your eye like this, but you can pinch them together, which is really nice. Now before I put the lashes on, I'm going to go ahead and shake up this DHC liner pen. I love this pen, it's fabulous. I'm going to just make a little bit of a line here because that way there's a little wiggle room for the lashes and a lash band. And that will hide it if I'm not right on to my lash line. You can also use a tight liner to do this, but I don't know, I kind of feel like I can be a little bit more precise with the pen. And then if you want to wing it out or something. There, and I can always touch up after the lash is on. And what's really neat with this, you guys, is that you could just go like this and like touch up in here. This is great, it lasts all day long, it doesn't feather or bleed. Fabulous, fabulous. Again, so this is the DHC Liquid Eyeliner FX Perfect Pro Makeup. Oh my God, I just stuck my fingernail into this. I wrecked it. Oh well. Let's put some lash glue on this puppy. Wait 30 seconds for it to get tacky. If you need a guide, put a dot on your other finger and then you can kind of feel it when it gets tacky. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. This is a small one, so you don't really need to do it so much, but that will help any lash go on better if you've kind of loosened it up. I often find that lashes go on easier after I've used them because, well, first off, I think having glue stick to the glue makes it better, but then also the shape is already there. Oh, what's that? Got a little something there. Get rid of that in a minute. Then you can use like the end of your tweezer to kind of pop this down, or your finger. And then the other thing I love to do is to take this Japanesque tool and kind of give it a squeeze very carefully. And then I'm trying to make my eyes look a little bit more open, so I'm not pulling the lashes too far to the edge. I'm trying to get more of an uplifted look. So, all done. The one product I did not use during this demo that was in my lucky bag was this little guy. I will be using it tonight to take all of this off. I really had a lot of fun putting this look together. Thanks for being here with me. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. Have a wonderful day or evening, wherever you are.